Good Sunday morning. We're about 43 minutes away from the start of fall. Want to start out with a live look outside as that rain, as promised, has been coming down overnight. We've also gotten some video from our man in the mountains, Matt Renew. This is around Loveland Pass. Actually, this is a live picture right now. You can see the snow flurries still coming down. Some of that snow being built up on the ground as well. He was also sending in some video over the last hour and a half or so. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Anusha Roy. Know lots of people have lots of questions about today. We want to head right over to Chris Spears, who's with us this weekend, and everything rolled in just as we talked about. Chris?
Good morning, Anusha. Absolutely. We always have a feeling of gratification when that forecast performs as we intend it to. The overnight rain developed. We do have some snow in the high country as well. Here's a live radar for you. The area of low pressure, it's starting to pull away from Colorado, and as it does so, we'll slowly see this precipitation come to an end. But for now, we still have a couple of pretty good bands of rain out there. One of them right in between I-70 and US 34, so outside of Ray, Akron, Fort Morgan, a light to moderate rain band there, and some of that does extend into the north side of the metro area. Brighton, Broomfield, right there along 470, Arvada, getting some moderate rain at this time. There's a little pocket of some intense rain there around Brighton and Broomfield. A little further north, we have a good pocket of rain just between Fort Collins, Loveland, and the Greeley vicinity here. This is all kind of working from east to west as the flow is upslope into the higher elevations. Further up, we have a pretty good pocket of snow. Rocky Mountain National Park. The snow is coming down pretty steady there right now, and in some of the higher elevations of western Boulder County. I'm zoomed in here to Clear Creek and Summit County, where the radar looks relatively quiet, but that is because the radar beam has a hard time seeing up into those higher elevations, and so that's why we have our own Matt Renew out there live at A Basin this morning. And Matt, you can verify that those flakes are indeed falling.
You're right, Chris. No need for that pesky radar here right now because we're live in Summit County and it's snowing. You know, we're at Arapahoe Basin here at the base area. It's not the ski season yet, but it's starting to look like the ski season, and it's certainly going to be a lot closer than we think with just a little bit of snow here at the base area of Arapahoe Basin. Not a lot, but not bad for the first day of fall. And we're getting some snow here in Summit County. Not unusual, but certainly nice to see. The lower valleys around Summit County, Silverthorne, Frisco, Dillon, they're still getting rain right now, but as you head to the higher elevation passes like the Eisenhower Johnson Tunnel, you're going to run into some snow. Certainly up on Loveland Pass, it's snowing, and here at 10,800 feet at Arapahoe Basin, it's snowing. A good reminder to check those tires and make sure you're ready for the winter because it will be here soon. People driving in the mountains are going to need that traction because it is snowing in Colorado finally here. The elevation's starting to drop a little bit, and good time to wax your skis. Anusha, also a good time to write smiley faces on cars here at Arapahoe Basin because there's just enough snow to put it right on the car there for when everyone shows up for work.
Oh, that's the way to do it, Matt. I love it. You know it's a special morning when Matt Renew shows up on a Sunday morning show. We love to see you. We'll check back in with you in about an hour. Thanks, Matt. Well, the weather is helping out firefighters in Larimer County fighting the Pearl Fire. It is now up to 90% contained. Yesterday, we told you it was 75. This weekend, an all clear was issued for the area. So that means all of the evacuation orders are removed. All of the normal activities can resume. The fire that broke out on Monday has burned a little more than 100 acres. Fire crews were really worried about it spreading into the Red Feather Lakes area. More than 300 firefighters were battling that fire all week.
Even severe schizophrenia does not mean insane.
Insanity is the only explanation for this tragedy.
We're looking ahead to Monday morning. A Boulder jury will continue their deliberations of 55 charges against the King Soopers shooter. Both sides delivered their closing arguments on Friday. The shooter is facing 10 counts of first-degree murder and dozens of other charges. Morning, and Brianna, the jury has a huge and heavy decision ahead of them.
Yeah, good morning. That's right, Anusha. This has been quite a long trial, with Monday bringing us one step closer to a conclusion. On Friday, jurors sat through 2.5 hours of jury instructions and then more than 4 hours of closing arguments. Attorneys on each side telling competing narratives about what happened on March 22nd, 2021. For the defense, it was that the shooter was insane and told doctors he hears yelling voices in his head.
All of a sudden, one day, start hearing voices. And you don't know where those voices are coming from. You start hearing someone yelling and yelling and yelling and yelling in your head all day. Or maybe just at night, or maybe just in the morning, or maybe just for an hour a day, or maybe just for I don't know how long.
The prosecution stressed that the shooter was sane, pointing to evidence that he planned for the attack the day before by searching for stores in Boulder on his phone.
Were the victims on March 21st? They were probably thinking about their day of work on Monday, the next day. They were probably asking their loved ones.
Objection, Your Honor, improper argument.
Overruled. What do you need from King Soopers? I'm going there tomorrow. The people who went to Safeway, Petco, Target, they live. People who go to King Soopers have their lives forever altered.
To get a conviction, prosecutors have to convince the jury that the man was sane on the day of the attack. There were 3 doctors that did sanity evaluations on him. All of them confirmed that they believed he was sane that day. Live in the newsroom, Brianna Clark, 9 News.
And we will be back in the courtroom tomorrow bringing you the latest as well. Thank you, Brianna. The words Denver and affordable are rarely used in the same sentence, but this weekend, a community on East Colfax took a huge step to change that. A community group brought an apartment building to try and stop rent from going up for the people living inside. 9 News reporter Lauren Scafidi explains the changes that they plan on making.
Woo! Excitement.
Hi, great to see you.
Echoes through East Colfax. On the way to the atrium of this apartment.
We are here to celebrate the monumentous accomplishment and achievement of the official launch of the East Colfax Mint with our acquisition of 1371 Xenia Street right here.
Mint means Mixed Income Neighborhood Trust. The East Colfax Community Collective, or EC3, and Trust Neighborhoods, a national nonprofit, have been working on this idea for 2 years.
The EC Mint has emerged out of necessity. The necessity to combat the housing crisis in our community with a durable, potent solution that shifts the control of housing into the hands of the community.
EC3 bought the building to help people living near East Colfax struggling with housing instability and fear of displacement. Their hope is that they can stop rent from rising so people can stay in their homes for longer.
We're only the 5th city in the nation to adapt this model.
Nakomi Parker listened as EC3 announced the changes coming to her 1-bedroom apartment she's called home for 5 years.
Well, I just don't like the rent go up because it's not worth it.
Number 1, the Mint will step in to stabilize rents and create long-term affordability for residents.
And number 2 on a long list, improving housing conditions.
Some of the stuff they need to really fix in the building because it's really bad. Cause I just feel like it's not safe.
EC3 hopes this property is more than just an acquisition. They want lasting change and to set an example for other communities.
With me, I pray to God for a better place because it's bad out here, but when you come to your home, that's your home. So you could be welcome to your own place.
Who owns this building? Who owns this building? Taking the profit out of real estate 1 building at a time.
We are waking up to another mass shooting. 4 people were killed, 11 hospitalized after a shooting in Birmingham, Alabama. This happened late last night. It was just after 11 p.m. in the popular entertainment district. Police say there were multiple shooters, each firing multiple shots. Birmingham police talked about what they think is the root of the problem.
These mass shootings have more to do with culture than they do criminality. Mayor Randall Woodfin said it best this week. We're seeing far too many arguments being settled by bullets. And I think this speaks to exactly what our mayor just recently said.
So far, a suspect has not been taken into custody, and we don't know a motive at this point. North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson held a meet and greet event in Fayetteville on Saturday, marking his first public appearance since allegations that he had made sexually explicit and racially charged comments on an adult website. He is currently the Republican nominee in the state's race for governor, and he has positioned himself as a conservative Christian candidate. Robinson briefly spoke at the Carlton Lamb Big C Memorial Race event, but only hinted at the scandal. However, he has previously denied the claims against him. Recent polling shows Robinson trailing his opponent, Josh Stein, by 14%. In some health news, whooping cough is on the rise in the U.S., and the CDC is now saying protection from its vaccine seems to be waning. So far, there have been around 14,500 reported cases of this disease. That is nearly 5 times higher than the number of cases at the same time last year. The vaccine's effectiveness starts to wear off after 2 to 3 years. The FDA's vaccine committee now met on Friday to discuss whether they need to do some more testing on the effectiveness of that vaccine. A new study published in Frontiers in Public Health shows making arts and crafts can be really good for your mental health. It found engaging in creative activities can significantly boost your well-being. It provides a space for expression, achievement. The researchers focused on arts and craft at a broad level rather than specific hobbies. But a cognitive psychologist involved in the study said anything from knitting and drawing requires very few tools and can also be very fulfilling.